What it do, YouTube? Is your boy Rob Varela, aka Riskitrobz here, back again with another video. And today I'm gonna be talking Avengers Endgame, and we're gonna be talking spoilers. If you guys have not watched this movie, please do me a favor. Please do me a favor and go watch this film. There's no way I can let you guys not. I can't spoil this to you guys. You guys gotta go watch this film. But today I also have a guest calling in. Shout out to my boy Rancell. Tell the people what up, Rancell.
What's up, guys?
How's it going,
God bless.
man? How'd you enjoy the film overall? Let's get you quick opinion on how you enjoy the film overall.
Best movie of all time. If you don't go watch this movie in theaters and you wait, you're gonna regret it because
There's no-
everybody's gonna be talking about it, and it's gonna get ruined.
And
If you're watching
Uh-huh.
this, it's ruined.
yeah, you messed up. If you haven't watched the other films, the other 22 films, you messed up because
Yeah.
this film has a lot of fan service. And if you're not really, I mean, you don't have to watch the other films, but if you did watch all those other films, it's super rewarding. Like I'm 100% sure if like a person who has not seen the other movies and I watch it, we're definitely gonna have different reactions to
Opinions.
the film and stuff like that. But let's go straight into this. The scene opens with Hawkeye and his family just having a picnic, they're just having fun, and next thing you know, slowly but surely they all started decimated, which we obviously didn't know from Infinity War if Hawkeye lost his family. So it was pretty not cool, but it was interesting to see the clarification and to see what he was doing at that time while everybody was fighting at Wakanda. And like I said, he was just having fun, and next thing you know, his daughter disappears, and so does the rest of his family. You see how he like trips out. What do you think about that scene?
Bro, I don't think he even noticed though. You know how terrible it is that you're not. He wasn't even looking. He's just like he was talking to them, and then all of a sudden he turns around, they're gone. All he
They're
sees
all
is
gone.
petals in the air, and like he just starts looking for them, bro. Like, what a panic. Just imagine if you're a father in that situation, bro, and your kids just disappear, your wife disappears, and and then you find out later on that it was this guy from another planet just
hmm
came and decimated half of the population. Bro, I would be destroyed.
I really enjoy this scene because the heaviness it brings to what people were doing at that time. Obviously, the Avengers were all fighting
Doing
Thanos
life.
and Wakanda, but normal people were just probably flipping eggs and having going on a date, and next thing you know, his date disappears in front of him. Obviously, those people had no idea, so it made it kind of like scary to feel like that's what people were feeling at that time. They were just having a good time, and boom, they're all gone.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you think a lot of people would think it's the rapture. You know what I mean?
Yep. People had no idea. They thought God came through, and all you next thing you know, it's Thanos. But then from that scene, we cut to Tony, and Nebula in the spaceship. They're playing like finger football. He's like repairing. I mean, not repairing. Like she's
Changing her.
attending no. I'm talking about like Tony. Like Nebula's like helping with his wounds, and like she's like kind of taking care of him. What was also cool is that they have this little moment, and you see Nebula go into like such a lighter side. They're playing, like I said, they're playing the little finger football. They're eating whatever space food they're eating, and there's a little bit left, and like Tony like tries to give it to Nebula. Nebula's like, nah, G, you gotta eat that. And for a moment, obviously this is coming from the beginning, but for a moment, I honestly felt like he died, like he was about to die. I'm like, wow, did they really trick us in the trailers? And he just dies in the beginning because he's talking to the helmet. He kind of slowly like starts to like pass out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought he was gone.
I was
I
like,
thought he was 100% gone.
I was like,
Just
whoa, they really like that. They really just, I guess this is how they're starting. And I was like, no. But next thing you know, it's actually Captain Marvel. She comes in, like grabs the ship, and like brings it back to Earth.
which I find insane. Like, weren't they like super far away?
Yeah, that goes to show the power she has. That she
Yeah,
legit
she
went
has to be
through.
going so fast that bro, like so fast for her to get back there without Tony dying. Because remember, he was already 23
Yeah.
days on the ship. She would have had to get there that same day for him to survive.
So that's the part where like Tony arrives finally back to Earth. He actually sees Pepper Potts. Well, he sees Captain America, Steve Rogers, but then he sees Pepper Potts, which he automatically did not know if she made it through the whole decimation. But to him, he was just like, "Oh man, is she alive? Is she not alive?" So it was nice to actually, for them, for them to actually see each other. I thought it was a nice moment.
Yeah, dude, it certainly filled him with hope because, bro, I'm pretty sure he felt hopeless after losing Peter Parker and losing all these the Guardians that he just met and was like just working with. Lost, Doctor Strange after Doctor Strange told him that there was only one way for them to win in the end. Man.
And then they cut off and they're having like this little meeting, and it's like Tony has like the IV in his like veins and stuff like that, and he's super skinny. It shows you how long he was up there because he's like rotting. He's like almost dying, and then he has
he was.
Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in this one little scene was just like insane when he has like the little meltdown and he blames like Cap, like, I needed your help when you weren't there. This is why I needed like a force field around like Earth to protect it. And then Tony's like, and then Captain America's like, but that didn't work. And then Tony kind of like puts the blame on him. He's like, I lost the kid, which is like Peter Parker is referring to, and like Tony, and then Cap is like, no, we lost him, but Tony's like, no, you, like, it's your fault. When I needed you, you weren't there.
You weren't there, yeah.
And then he passes out and he falls into the floor and stuff like that.
Well, he takes the thing out of his chest. He says, put this on and go hide.
Yeah.
If he ever comes back or something.
Because they were like, oh, we heard you fight. We heard you fought down. And he's like, no, it's not really a fight. He really just thrashed me and threw a moon in my face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is, if you think about it, it's kind of true. He really got
threw an
rocked.
entire moon at him. He just got his butt. All he did was get a little bit of blood, and it took all the nanobites he had. And then he got stabbed almost through the heart by his own sword, which is absolutely insane.
And then Captain Marvel was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm tired of this. I'm just gonna go get him myself. And then they find out where Thanos lives, obviously in the garden. That's where his planet was always at. So they actually pulled up to the planet. And then they like bum rushed them, like straight bum rushed them. And it was cool because at that moment you got to see like the second time I watched this scene, I didn't notice that when he's like climbing back into his little cabin, because Thanos right now is like living like the farm life. He's like farming, and when he's walking up the stairs, he's limping. So it goes to show that the battle he actually had at Wakanda actually like put an effect on him a little bit. When he used a snap the first time, that the strain that it actually put on his whole entire body.
But it was actually the second snap. Remember, he had just done the second snap and destroyed all the stones.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The second time. Yeah. Because they bum rush him and they have him like all tied up, and they're asking where the stones is at, and he goes, well, I don't have the stones anymore. I used the stones to destroy the stones. And then obviously no one believes him, but Nebula, I like this line that she had. It's like, my father's many things, but a liar he's not. So next as soon as she says that, Thor just comes out of nowhere and says,
and rips his head off, and then he says, and everybody's like, why'd you do that? And he's like, I went for the head.
So they cut off and it pans off, and then all you see is a black screen and it goes 5. And then years later, when I saw that, I was like, 5 years? Which actually didn't mind. I actually liked that very much, that it was 5 years and it wasn't like 2 weeks, even 6 months later. I like that 5 years. They had 5 years to feel what the loss was. They felt they legit went from being superheroes to living day-to-day lives and stuff like that. And they felt that. It wasn't like, hey, and then 3 weeks later, oh, we're finding Thanos again, let's go get him. No, these heroes had that on their shoulders that they actually lost, and they had to feel that for 5 years. And that's when they opens up, and then Cap is like having like this meeting, and we actually see.
Well, no. First it's Ant-Man, the rat.
Oh, that's right, that Ant-Man. Which, first of all, Rancell and I both agreed this was kind of, to me, lazy writing, but like I'm letting it pass because I think pretty sure they wanted to get to the point. They needed to save time. But let's be honest, the whole Captain America stuck in the quantum realm, and then the only way to get out, Ant-Man gets stuck in the quantum realm, but yet a rat comes conveniently and steps over the controllers, and then poof, he's out. And I was like, yikes, that was kind of bad. I mean, not bad, but it was. I think it was lazy writing. but it to me, it didn't ruin it. It didn't really pull me out. I was just like, oh, okay. But then that's the part.
Way to move the plot along.
Yeah, but this is I forgot about this part. But this is the part where he leaves the storage unit where he was, and he realized people were decimated. Then he goes to like this, like, I don't know, it's not a graveyard-ish, I guess you could say, a graveyard for like the vanished.
Yeah, dude, I completely forgot.
Yeah, I remember the vanished.
The graveyard.
That's where,
With
the
all the
vanished. And
Just
he,
like
he's freaking out because he's
monsters of
freaking
these
out
people.
because he's like, oh wait, is Cassie there? Is Cassie on? Like, is she vanished? But he didn't see Cassie. He actually sees his name and he's like, what? I'm dead?
Yeah, he sees his name because nobody knew where he was, so they assumed he was dead. He thought it was one of the vanished.
Then they drew in the scene with Cap, like, as a leader of like this AA meeting with all the people coping with what had happened, and it was a cool scene because obviously Joe Russo, actually one of the directors, is in that scene. He's like an openly gay character in the scene, so I thought it was nice to include him in the film, or he include himself in the film. And it was a nice touch to like what life was for the people who were left behind and had to cope with
I
like
didn't even
the
catch
level.
that he was talking about a date. I just
Yeah.
thought he was talking about like a kid or something. That
Nah, he was talking
trying
about
to
his
connect
date.
with or something.
And the crazy, also, his daughter, if I'm mistaken, his daughter is actually Hawkeye's daughter, the one that's actually like during the arrows. Joe Russo. I'm pretty sure that's his daughter.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So then they cut
And
off.
then we go to Black Widow.
Yeah, they have Black Widow with this whole. It was cool how they're using this whole AI situation, but they have like this little meeting where like they're all in different parts of the world. You know how they have Captain Marvel with her famous mohawk haircut that she actually cuts it. It's not the helmet. It's not the helmet that makes the mohawk. It's actually her haircut. Then we have Rocket, and then Rhodey, and then what's her name?
Where you find? Oh, you talking about the Michonne?
Yeah,
I don't even know
what's
what
her
they call
name?
her in this movie, but whatever.
But-
Let's just call her Michonne.
Black Panther is like one of the what's the name of those warriors?
Oh, one of
Honestly,
them.
I get- Yeah, one of the leader of the warriors. She was there also, and then this scene was super interesting because I don't think people don't give enough credit to Scarlett Johansson in this part of the scene because she really takes on the role against Nick Fury while everybody's like trying to like figure stuff out with around the world, and you could just feel that she has like this weight on her shoulders, and she gives like this performance of like when Cap
She's
comes.
trying to fix everything.
Yeah, when Rhodey tells her like, hey, no, we found Clint, and we know that he's like murdering people, dropping bodies, and you know she kind of feels like responsible for like she wants to take care of him and watch over. He lost his family, so she knows why like he's doing
taking
this.
about bodies,
And just her performance, because she's trying to hold it in. She's trying to hold it in so hard when Cap is talking to her. She kind of lets the tear drops, and she can't. She goes. It's like she kind of feels like she failed Clint in reality when, you know, obviously it's not really her fault that Thanos wanted to be a maniac and
kill his family.
kill everybody.
Yeah, dude, it's terrible. It's terrible. But then we get some hope because now Ant-Man comes knocking. Toot, toot, toot. Hey guys, open up! I'm here. Remember Ant-Man? Remember the airport? It's
And then
me.
it's crazy because I didn't think Ant-Man was gonna be the one to like. He's the one that started this whole, hey, maybe time travel. We could do something with that. I didn't think he was gonna be the one.
He's the only one that knew about the quantum realm, though.
Yeah, I know, but like but Ant-Man, you know, Scott Lang isn't like the brightest one, so like it was interesting for him to be the one to be. If anything, I thought maybe like Bruce or like Tony would be the ones to like figure it out. But it was Ant-Man.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did figure it out.
Yeah, but later, but like
he was the one
Ant-Man,
that had the idea.
The idea, which I didn't mind. I like that because I do like Paul Rudd's character, like Scott Lang's character in these films, and that he's like and I like the one he's a comedic timing. Same thing with Chris Hemsworth, but like to me, like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I feel like everybody had jokes, and that for me it was like a joke fest, and I didn't really enjoy that film that much. But this one, I think it was the balance between seriousness and fun, and like comedic was very well balanced. Like it was funny to be funny, but it was serious when it needed to be serious. Even though there's some points where like I was like, oof, I wish it would have been stayed serious, but it wasn't overall through the whole movie. Then that's when they're like, oh well, we gotta figure this out. Let's go visit Tony, and maybe he helps us. And this scene I like this scene a lot too, because this is when we find out he actually has a daughter. Throughout those 5 years, he actually ends up having a daughter, which I think his name is Morgan.
Yeah.
And this the second time that I saw this film, the first time I didn't see it, the second time I noticed how they're throwing little hints of like who's dying. It's like, oh, they're obviously showing Tony's dying. It's like they're kind of like foreshadowing Tony's death. They show you her I forgot what Pepper Pot. They show the helmet that he made for her, and that comes into play in the end of the movie, which I thought that was pretty dope to like throw in the
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. It was amazing. He says like she never uses anything. She never wears anything I buy for her. Which
Yeah,
I find
with that it's
hilarious.
like your mother doesn't buy anything for her, and then the whole scene with her daughter, which I don't know, her daughter's pretty smart. The way she's kind of sassy, it's pretty funny how she is as for a little child, like a child. Is she kind of reminds me of Tony, low key, to be honest. But
Yeah,
but like they really wanted to like, hey Tony, can you help us with that? And then he's like, no, I'm good with what I have here. Like I do not want, like I cannot ruin this. If you really want to go do this, do it yourself. You have my blessing. But I can't do this anymore. I'm happy to where he is at. But obviously we know that's not true because he ends up actually going to help him and stuff like that.
yeah, because he starts as soon as he says no and they leave, he's studying on that stuff because just like everybody knows, Tony can't let nothing go. He can't let bygones be bygones. If he finds a solution, he just digs and digs until he can find the solution. And dude, when he finds that solution, and then Pepper tells him, "Oh, will you be able to rest?" When she said that, I'm like,
Yeah, like
he's gonna die,
we're
huh?
skipping a little bit forward, but I do like that. Now that you bring it up, so I don't forget, I do like that scene because he figures out time travel after like he said he was into it, and he tells Pepper, and Pepper is like, she realizes, oh, he figured that out. That's kind of good, but I don't want. They kind of like, I
She
don't
doesn't
want
want to
to.
lose what she has
Exactly,
because she thinks that that's what will happen because everybody
exactly.
thinks that's what happens.
But then Tony is like, yeah, you know what? I just don't want to deal with this. I just feel like throwing in the box and throwing in the river. But then that's when she says like, but would you ever rest if you did that? You like you need
Yeah, you
these people
rest.
need your help, kind of. And she goes, you have to do it.
Pretty much.
But before that, they have this real funny scene. It's like, well, we need to find another big brain. And they're like, who's that? And then they have this thing. They go to this diner, and guess who it is? It's Bruce Banner as he fuses he took well to in reality like this happens in the comics. He actually gets a grip, but there actually there's more steps to it, and that's
Yeah, it
what
takes
that
18 months in
yeah.
a lab,
But
and he creates.
you see how I that's believable, because in 5 years he had time to this. If they would have cut to like 6 weeks, and he had full control of his powers and he was like this, I would have been like, how,
Yeah, like
how?
no.
So that's why that 5 years does take into place. Same thing with Hawkeye's scene with the whole Ronin thing, which I thought that scene was so badass. The way it was shot in Tokyo, and the way it was I think it was like a single shot, just a one shot movement, and I thought it was shot very well done.
Yeah. It's just no cutscene, just the entire thing happening through buildings and then coming out the other building, a whole bunch of
Yep.
people getting killed, and then at the end, I'm guessing, killing the head of the mafia in
And then
China or whatever.
that's when Black Widow pulls up on him, and then she's like, well, we kind of have this thing we're gonna do to get everybody back. And then I do like this line that Hawkeye gives. He's like, don't. She's like, what? It's like,
Don't give me hope.
don't go him me hope. And I was like, yikes. Like, he's been through. He always lost his family. He's not the same as he was before. But I thought that was
Yeah,
also dope.
yeah, and she's like, I'm sorry I couldn't give it to you earlier.
Yo, I like that line too. This
It's
whole
just,
that's why, like I said, this movie does a lot of foreshadowing. You see it the second time you go watch it, because like they're giving like this arc to Scarlet. I mean, not
yeah, they're trying
Scarlet.
to close her. Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Widow.
Scarlett Johansson, yeah, Black
Yeah,
Widow. They're
Black
trying to
Widow.
close her arc. They're trying to close her
So they kind
story.
of give you this hint to see what happens, like exactly what happens in the end of the film, where you get to find out that she dies when they're go recovering the Soul Stone, and to get the Soul
Yeah,
Stone, you have to give a soul. And then I like that scene a lot too. We're just gonna jump around at this point because we don't have a
yeah,
lot of time.
a lot of
But
time.
we're gonna just jump around the key points that I really enjoyed. That whole scene I really like, because they're like out suiciding each other. Like, no, I'm gonna kill myself. No, I'm gonna kill myself. No, I'm gonna kill myself. And I was like, I thought it was done very well, and it was shot super well. Where like you get to see, like you think one's gonna like do the suicide, but no, it cuts and something happens, and then they try to do the suicide, and then
And then the
also
last thing, Hawkeye jumps off, and then Widow jumps and grabs him in the air, and then she knows that he has a grapple because she knows him better
mm-hmm.
than he knows himself, or really close to as much as he knows
It's
himself, and
like
she hooks him on the wall, and he knows that that thing is connected to his belt, and he can't unhook it, and if he unhooks it, then they both die, and then no one wins.
And then
So
she goes like, you know what I've done. And she goes, I don't judge people by their worst mistakes. And I was like, wow.
and she's like, you didn't. She's like, you never judged me, so why would I judge you? Pretty much.
Pretty
And
much.
she just kicks off the wall and falls to her death. And
Which
I feel like
that scene worked for me, but like to me, it didn't have like that very emotional like, because I feel like I needed more time with these characters to feel that way. But I do understand it. And if it had to be anybody, it would have to be them two, right? Because who else would it be? What,
yeah,
Nebula and Rhodey getting that Soul Stone? Like, it wouldn't have. Excuse
yeah, it
me, it
wouldn't
wouldn't
work.
even not work because they don't care for you. It has to work. Remember, a soul for a soul, but it has to be someone that you love. So, and they
Yep,
generally
it
have
had to be
love.
them.
It had to be them too. But let's just. I'm just gonna skip ahead because there's so much to talk about. If you guys want me to get
Yeah,
into,
we can.
if
I
you guys,
mean, we can. It's pretty quick. The Power Stone. You see Star Lord dancing. They knock his ass out.
yeah, knock
They
him
get the
out.
so. Yeah, they just get the Power Stone, and then Thanos realizes that Nebula is actually connected to the old Nebula, and
Which I thought that was
Thanos figures
pretty
out
cool.
everything.
Which I thought was
Thanos
pretty
figures out
cool.
everything. Yeah,
And
Thanos figures out
I
everything.
thought,
He watches a
yeah, I
movie
thought
of
that was gonna
everything.
go a whole different way, and it was gonna upset me if like he found out where like the plan, and he just like destroyed everything super quick, and I was like, damn, that would have ruined it for me. But I do like the way they went about it, and I do like the parts where like they do figure out how to get these stones. They all go back. They figure out time travel. They all go back to all these movies from like the first
Ultron.
Captain America, Ultron, the first Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. I do like that sequence of time travel because I don't want to skip through this part because that part was obviously integral to the film. But that whole scene was super fun. It was fun,
Yeah.
serious, and then you get to see what happened during those moments. The Battle of New York. You see
Yeah. When they
the
go down
ancient,
the elevator.
yeah, you see the ancient one, like, because obviously she was around at that time, but we didn't know that character in 2012. But it shows her what she was doing. She was actually helping the Avengers like take down during her little sea of spheres with the magic. That's when Bruce Banner goes to talk to her and stuff like that. And then the
Yep.
whole scene with the whole Cap versus Cap, America's ass and all that stuff, like that whole scene of them fighting each other was
and
so
then when
funny.
he says Bucky is alive and he lets go of him and Chris completely catches him off guard. Oh,
I like
that
the
was
part where
beautiful.
like the original like the Cap at that time was like, I could do this all day, and then Cap was like, hey, yeah,
I
I
know.
know, like, I get it.
Like, I know.
I get it. I thought that was pretty funny.
I was like, yeah, that's the best. But so
And
yeah, they got all the stones and then they put it on the wrist and they were trying to decide who, and Thor's being an idiot because fat Thor.
oh
Fat
yeah,
Thor.
that's not it. They talk is that we have
Fat
no time.
Thor.
So if you guys want me to do more of a in-depth sport review, let me know down in the comments below. But that to me, I thought that was gonna like take me out of the film throughout the whole time because they show him and he's a fat alcoholic, and then you get to see Korg and Meek. Hey, I'm Korg. You can log into the password Wi-Fi if you want. I was like, oh my god, and they're playing Fortnite and stuff like that.
Fortnite.
I thought the whole scene was so amazing. I
Funny.
thought it was super funny.
Yeah.
But we find out
And
Thor's
then,
fat, and
Yeah.
I was like, ah man, but he's probably gonna change throughout.
Yeah,
Like in
we
30
thought
minutes.
he was, right?
But he actually stayed like that throughout the whole film,
entire
which
thing.
to me it worked, but it didn't work because it kind of just made Thor funny regardless because he's obviously
Yeah,
fat.
and it also made him a fool. So
Yeah,
when he's
but-
like, "Oh,
but-
I want to do the snap," you're like, "You're not doing the snap." Like,
But it was
get out
also
of my face
cool
right
the way
now.
that they filmed it. They shot it very well to like maybe to sometimes it doesn't look like he's always fat, but they shot it very well. So it's not always as funny. But let's just talk about the ending, the third act.
Yeah, so then we got the snap. We need somebody to do the snap. So they
The
decide
Hulk,
that
the
the
Hulk
Hulk.
does it. He actually does. He actually does this. Well, first of all, they do the snap, right? And then
Yeah.
Hawkeye's wife calls in, and then you see just Hulk looking up in the sky, and then you just see a spaceship. And there's no audio. Perfect way to work that audio. There's no audio,
Yeah.
and you see just like a rocket, boom, which
It
all of
blows
them
up
survive.
everything.
How? I don't know.
I
But the only Ant-Man, like I guess he pressed the button last minute, and everybody else. The only person I think that should have died maybe is like Hawkeye. Like, how did you survive that shit? Like, I already has a suit, and Rocket Raccoon is like small enough to like
Fall
I guess
through little holes
fall
and
through
stuff like that.
But like Hawkeye, like how? But
Yeah, he just got lucky, whatever.
that whole
And
scene
then
was
and then Hawkeye's the one that gets the Infinity Gauntlet, I guess
yeah.
the new Infinity Gauntlet, because I mean, or the Iron Man, whatever, the Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet, whatever, that crap, the fully adjustable Infinity.
We're at the part where they're all three of them are fighting Thanos, and you can see the power of Thanos, what he has and stuff like that, because he doesn't have the stones at this point. He's just fighting them straight up, fist to fist. And then there's this point where we think Cap's gonna die because he hits him with the sword, or that double-bladed sword, and he's destroying the shield. He knocks them down. Then Thor, he beats up Thor, and the next thing you know, so you see Mjolnir, the hammer, like
Just
on the
go
ground,
towards somebody,
and
you
you
don't
think
know
you
who
think
it
it's gonna be
is.
Thor, but it's actually Captain America, and that moment was so sick.
I've never seen so many people cheer for Captain America in my life, bro. This guy just starts twirling it like he's OG Thor, bro.
I also like the part when he gets the hammer and Thor, they cut to Thor, and Thor's like, I knew it, because it's a nice callback to Age of Ultron, where all testing who's worthy enough, and he always moved it, and it's such a nice payoff to actually see him like have the hammer. He actually does work with it.
No, it's that he's worthy now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's
gone through enough. He's gone through enough things now through all the movies that he's worthy.
Technically speaking, any of us could pick up the hammer if you're worthy enough. And I thought it was nice to actually see that he is worthy enough. He's just destroying all these fools and stuff like that. Bro. Then it was cool because then they're fighting and the whole. I mean, not the whole. Thor has Mjolnir, and then Cap has like Stormbreaker, and he's like, no, you take the little one.
Give me that one.
Yeah, you take the little one. Let me get the big one.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you take that.
What I also liked about this film, there's so many picture moments that you could just like take a screenshot and that could just be like a portrait. Like this movie was the effects, and the cinematography was so beautiful. But let's just we're almost out of time, so let's cut through when you hear Sam through like Cap's earpiece. He's like to your left, and that's when you see the portal opening,
little circle,
and you see like Black Panther, Shuri.
Coming out of the time, those time things that those time people can make.
And you see Hawkeye come out, and then that's when people started cheering. You see everybody come back to life. When Spider-Man came out, I was like,
swings through, and you're just like, yeah. It was beautiful.
This film had me emotional, but this is one scene where like it really like made me like I legit cried. Like I actually legit cried because this is something I've been waiting for years and years, and as a kid I never thought that I was gonna see this moment in the live action period. So it was very emotional to me personally because I do love these characters with all my heart, and the fact that we actually got to see this in the big screen is the part where like they're all together, and then Cap goes, Avengers assemble. That
yeah, and then they all start running, even Hulk with his messed up arm,
everybody's running
through, and he's just wrecking people. And you just see Thor just slam the ground, and all the freaking things just fly into the air. It's crazy.
And then
absolutely insane.
Oh man, that scene was. And then they have this nice moment, which I think it was very forced, but I understand it. I get it. It was not for me, and I get it who it was for. But I feel like it was very forced. But I get it.
Was very forced. All the girls.
I get all the girls appearing, and they're all fighting.
And then Captain Marvel just flying through the middle, of them, not even caring because they're so weak.
Like I said that this scene I enjoyed it very much, and it was a good scene. But obviously to me it felt very forced.
It was forced.
Like what? It was forced, but
where'd they come from? Why'd all the girls just end up being together? It doesn't make any sense. But okay.
Like it was fine. To me, it didn't ruin it, but it was fine because I know what it was for, and I get what it's for, and I do approve it. Like who am I to even approve anything? But like I feel like it was necessary. Yeah, it was necessary to have. I feel like I wish it would have been more organic than. Here they are. Now go get them, ladies.
Like go fight all together.
I wish it would have felt more organic.
Yeah.
But let's get to.
And then so now, we're transitioning right through it. We have Captain Marvel flying through because she was gonna try to go back into the time thing and throw the glove away.
Yeah.
But Thanos throws this huge ass sword into the time machine and breaks it. So then now we got to deal with freaking Thanos trying to get the gauntlet.
That's when Captain Marvel was like fighting. She goes toe to toe, and I like the part where like
He starts
she has
bending his arms back.
yeah, and then like he headbutts her, but it does nothing. It doesn't even move her an inch, and like I like that scene a lot.
And then he takes off the freaking Power Stone to punch her out of a
Oh wait,
freaking.
hold on. This is one scene I can't forget about this. Scarlet Witch, obviously. I love Scarlet Witch as a character.
Man.
They haven't given her
Yes.
enough justice in these films, like the real power,
And
because
this
she's
one, bro,
in
she's
this
strong.
film in the books she's out of everybody, she's like she's pretty much the strongest one out of everybody there, but they really don't show her true power, and in this film they actually finally show her a little bit, I guess. There's obviously, or maybe they're nerfing her to like give more people more, I don't know, but I want to see her lash out because she lashes out in the comic books and it's really rad. But this is the part where she actually is like 2 seconds away from killing Thanos, and Thanos for a split second he like freaks out, he panics, and that's when he tells him like, "All hellfire on the to the ground, and they're like, "What about our troops?" He's like, "I don't care, do it, I'm about to die." And it's like I like that moment of him panicking to
Yeah,
her.
because she's burning his body alive and like
Yup.
ripping all his armor off.
She's
And then
literally
he just
doing
throws
work.
all those rockets down, and man, he destroys his entire army though,
Pretty much.
like at least all of it. But then
Then we get to the
that was
point where he gets the
wait,
glove
wait.
again, and then Tony like bum rushes him, and he does
Well,
a snap.
no. He gets the gauntlet, right? But everybody's coming. Everybody's coming up to him to try to make sure he doesn't close that hand or snap that finger. And then you just see Doctor Strange do the thing with his finger, like there's only one way.
Yeah, he
And,
looks at
and
the
Iron
Tony.
Man's like, Iron Man knows what he needs to do, and Iron Man just runs over to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he bum
But
rushes
Thanos,
him.
and Thanos, and what is it called? Iron Man knows that he can't take Thanos and like take it off his hands, but he knows that he created that glove, so he knows how it works. He
That's
knows
what
how
I'm
to take.
saying. That's why it was pretty smart. I mean, kind of not lazy writing, but it was kind of, it's cool the way that they did it, because obviously this movie is 3 hours long, so they needed to figure out ways to move things, which I do like that they did figure out how to make the 3 hours. It definitely did not feel like 3 hours at all. I don't know about you, it definitely didn't feel like 3 hours to me.
Yeah, I've seen it twice, and I'm probably
same.
about to go watch it now. But man,
This movie felt very quick, and then the way he retrieves back the stones, and then Tony's the one that does the snap.
bro, when he says I am,
Yeah, I am.
inevitable. And I love the cinematography that they don't show the hand until he snaps, and then
Yes.
he goes and looks at his hand. He has no stones.
Yeah.
And you just see Tony go, and
Right.
and you just see the freaking the stones move up to his hand, and he goes Iron Man.
He's like, I am Iron Man. I was like,
Yo,
wow.
I was like, that's it. That he's dead, but he can die.
Which-
Like,
which-
at that point I was okay with him dead.
No,
I
to me,
fucking-
no. Well, I mean, were you talking about Tony or Thanos? Because I feel like
I'm talking about
Thanos,
Tony.
I kind
I'm
of
talking
didn't
about
want.
Tony snapped,
yeah.
I was okay. I was like,
For me- okay.
Iron Man, you can die.
No,
You
no,
can
that's
go-
that's to me that's
yo.
fine. But like, I kind of wanted more of a real battle with Thanos. Maybe this is the fanboy in me to see, and I kind of wish Nebula would have been the one to snap, because she's the one that does it in the comics. So it would have been cool, and it would have been a nice end to her arc of her finishing what she went from Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and to what she's become, actually, I guess, a good guy-ish.
Yeah,
now,
but at least she was in the. Remember, she was on the ship with.
Oh no, yeah,
with
I get it, but
Quill
like I
and
kind of wish
everybody
it
at
would have
the
been
end.
Nebula, but it was cool, and it's fine that Tony's the one that did it, and it gave him that moment. You know, with Spider-Man, him and Tony have a moment. It's like, no, Mr. Stark, like we did it, like they're done, and like,
We won, Mrs. Stark.
and
we
then this
won.
performance by Gwyneth Paltrow was so insane. Where,
Talking
like,
about Pepper, right?
yeah, Pepper Potts is she's talking to Tony, and she knows that he's still kind of like, she realizes he's gonna die, so she says, "I'm okay." She's trying to keep her like a brave face, like,
We're
I
gonna be
got
okay.
it. Yeah, we're gonna be okay.
Like,
She's
we're gonna
trying
be
to
okay. And then she says the
Like,
word.
she's like, I love you
You remember what he
3000.
says?
Yeah, she's like, I love you
No,
3000.
no, she said no. She says something that is kind of like from the foreshadowing from before, that will you be able to rest?
You know, it's like, yeah,
And
she
she
goes, like,
says,
it's like, you could rest now.
yeah, and
that-
that's when I knew he was dead. Like I knew, like
And
there's no question about it. There's no, he's gonna be in the hospital. Beep beep. Like,
And
and then
yeah,
he
and I
dies.
really enjoyed that.
Like,
I enjoyed that they stuck with that, because you know, sometimes in these movies when someone's about to die, they go with like, oh no, I'm alive again. Hey, oh no way, he actually died type thing. Like, he didn't come back to
Yeah.
life. He just
No,
died. And when he dies, Pepper just loses and she cries and stuff like that. And then that's when it cuts to the whole funeral scene, and you know, everybody's there, even the kid from Iron Man 3.
everybody's there.
Iron Man 3
Every
is there.
single actor, every single person. I don't know about you, bro. I've seen the movie twice, and I still don't know who that white kid in the back
That's
is.
the kid from Iron Man 3. Did you see Iron Man 3? Did you see Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
kid.
yeah,
Remember in the scene where he's in the barn and he's talking to that one kid or whatever that helps him like become like gives him the confidence again to become Iron Man. He's a little kid. And obviously it's been a year, so he grew up. That's the little kid from Iron Man 3.
So you think that kid's gonna be something in the
No.
future? Why
No,
else would
I don't think he's something in the future. I think I honestly think he was useless-ish, I guess. I don't think why they threw him, but they threw him in there for, like, I guess, fan service.
Easter egg?
Yeah, I guess Easter egg. Maybe they'll do something,
Easter
but I
egg.
doubt it.
I don't know, maybe, man. You never know. In these universes, bro, anything's possible because the actors they already have in the universe, most of them are not signed, are already done with their contract, and they've made their money, and
But like
they
I
need
said,
somebody.
I really enjoy this film to pieces. It's my favorite one out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm gonna call it from the start. There's no way this movie did things that any other movie has never done to me personally, and I
I'm
really
calling it
enjoyed
right
this
now.
film.
First move, it's gonna break the box office record.
I think so
First
too.
movie,
Right
it's
now,
gonna break Avatar.
at
It's
this
gonna beat
moment, at
Avatar. I'm
Sunday at
sorry.
7 o'clock, it's already made like 350 worldwide. Like
No,
already.
right
I mean,
now, it's
yeah.
made 1 billion, dude.
Yeah, 1
It's
billion,
number
1 billion.
18.
I meant,
It's
I meant
18 right now,
I meant on
all time.
domestic. I'm at 3. It's already at 350 domestic, and I
Domestic.
heard, and it was like another 300 in China. So like, it's definitely gonna be Avatar, which I hope it does. To me, honestly, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if they beat it or not. But I want it to beat it because honestly, I think Avatar is really overrated. It's a good movie, but I think it was overrated.
Overrated, yeah.
But
I'm calling it now. Number 1, it's gonna pass Avatar. I'm calling it right now.
all right,
No
Rancell.
other bro. It's been sold out for the last 4 weeks, man. For the next 4 weeks, it's gonna be sold out. It's insane, absolutely insane.
And they have like, and the way they did it, because it's 3 hours, so they really can't squeeze in movie times. But what they did is AMC is doing like this whole 24 hours viewing. But final thoughts on the film, Rancell, before we go.
Best movie of all time. Go watch it. If you don't watch it, you are missing out on the movie of a lifetime, of a generation.
And where can my subscribers find you?
You can follow me on Rancell Brito, RANCELLBRITO on Instagram. That's all you need. God bless, guys.
And you can always find me at Riskitrobz on my social medias. Make sure you guys follow me at my Stardust app. Stardust is where I do 30-second reactions like I did for Avengers on there. 30 seconds to movies and TV shows. If you guys want to see me toast some fools on Twitch, make sure you guys follow me at Riskitrobz. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.